Recording in progress.
Okay, guys, this is our very first title talk, and I'm excited to do these because I have been thinking that because we talk about Scentsy being a relationship business all the time, the relationships that make us stay with Scentsy, as we know, because we're superstar consultants, or we as the group here, we've been here a while. And we know that relationships are what make us stay. And the relationships that are the most important from the beginning are the ones with our group. I mean, customers are really important too, but the ones with our group are super important. So I started these title talks for today for these workshops. And I'm hoping, we'll talk about more at the end, but I'm hoping that this will go further beyond just this one workshop for superstar consultants, that you guys will create a connection, a community, and in some way form a community of either a Facebook group or a messenger chat or something like that, so you guys can bounce ideas off each other because you all have the same goal. If you are here in this workshop, that means that you are at the minimum a superstar consultant with Scentsy, and that you have people on your team in your downline, right? So you are a leader, and it's super important that we have somebody to sort of back us up and give us a pat on the back, or say we're doing things right, or say we could do this differently, maybe try this differently. So this community could be that for you guys. So let me start by saying everyone in this group and those that will watch later is at a different point in their journey at Superstar Consultant. Some of you have been Superstar Consultant for a very long time. Some of you have been directors before and are now a Superstar Consultant. And some of you are a brand new Superstar Consultant. But all of you have the same compensation plan requirements to be paid at that title. And all of you have had a time in your life, whether it's now or in the future or in the past, that you have not been paid at title and you've been struggling, right? So this hopefully today will help you sort of see the light. And I'm going to put together a really quick presentation on what you need to be focusing on to further your business. Now, if you are here and you don't want to be a leader, and you accidentally came to be here and you really are like, I don't want to go any further in this business, there's also a way for you to say, Scentsy, I just want to be a consultant. I don't want to be a leader. It's not a good time in my life. I just want to be a consultant. Can you please put me in a non-leadership role? You just have to email account services and they will do that for you. But I believe in each one of you, and I know you deserve it and belong here. Okay, so because this is a leader workshop, I'm going to tell you the very first thing that you have to do as a leader is lead from the front. And you have all heard me say this. I've done many talks about this, but I'm going to break it down and tell you exactly what I mean by lead from the front. You have these downline, and I mean all of them, not just frontline. And if you don't know the vocabulary words, you need to go look it up, because as a superstar consultant, you should know what downline is, frontline is, team means, group means, because you are getting ready to be a director and you need to know it so that you can pass it on to your team, right? All right, so when you're leading from the front, that means you need to have PRV, because you are emulating what you want your team to emulate, right? So you need to be having 500 PRV, not by the end of the month by the skin of your teeth. You need to be having 500 PRV by the 15th. Because when you're pushing to get 500 PRV by the 15th of the month, that means you're front loading your calendar, which we're teaching our teams to do. And that means that you are doing the things that come with that PRV. You are doing follow-ups. You are doing a referral program. You're doing parties. You are doing whiff boxes. You have Scentsy clubbers. All those things are the things that PRV sort of is wrapped up with, right? And then you are emulating that. You are showing the way to your team members. So PRV is the first thing, 500 by the 15th. Second, recruiting. You need to be recruiting at least minimum of one person per month, because this is what happens when that happens. You are going to not only just recruit that person, you are going to help them with a launch party, and you are going to help them towards their goals, their shooting star and their sensational start. super focused on sensational start because that's the first 70 days, right? So when you help someone that joins your team hit one of those levels of sensational start every 70 days, you have this cycle of that PRV from them or the new person helping you achieve your TWV or GWV for your promotion or paid at title. Okay. So recruiting, PRV, recruiting, and then partying, because you can't get the PRV and the recruiting without partying in some way, shape, or form. I don't care if you can't do basket parties or Facebook parties or home parties or whatever it is you can't do, there's some kind of party you can do. And that is the way you're going to expand your circle. You might say, Bonnie, I only have 20 customers. Well, that's the problem. As a superstar consultant, if you only have 20 customers, you need to get out there and find a way to find new customers. I will tell you, there are tons of trainings on this, and we're not going to deep dive into them right now, but just first off, if you don't have a business page on Facebook, you have to have one because you will find new people through a business page. Second off, if you don't have a referral program, you need a referral program because all of your customers now can refer you and they can get a kickback from you because you're going to thank them, right? Hostesses for parties, they're going to introduce you to new people. Things that you like to do, things that you enjoy in life, things that you surround yourself with when you're not doing Scentsy, travel, your dog, your other job, if you have another job. All of those things have groups, tons of groups on Facebook. Join those groups. I'm not saying go in there and spam because they have rules and you don't want to be doing that anyway because people won't like you if you do that. But when you get in there, you're forming relationships, you're talking. I am in this, just as an example, I am on this weight loss journey health thing, and I am in 2 groups that I am meeting new people every day. Have I made a connection that has turned into a sale or a party yet? No, but I am messaging with 2 different people that maybe it will turn into something. They're 2 new people that I would have never met if I wasn't in that group. So join those groups. Okay, let me go back to recruiting. I know it's hard because I have to do it too. Believe me, when you get to superstar director, you don't just stop working. If you did, then this would be a pyramid scheme, right? This would just be one of those things that people talk about that we shouldn't be. We have to work at every single level. So I understand that my circle gets smaller every time I recruit someone, right? Because those people's friends are now their customers. So I am continually having to grow my circle, and I am continually having to find new people to recruit. So when you have a referral program, when you have hostesses, when you have a kit sitting there for free that you are offering to every single person that buys something from you, I know you know how to do it because you're a superstar consultant. You've done it before. So I know you have the tools. I know you can do it. So we're just going to have to figure out where the breakdown is. And that's where this circle and this community is going to really be helpful, I think. When you guys form whatever you decide to form and start bouncing ideas off each other, I think you're going to really realize that somebody over here does it a way that I've never done before, and that might work. Or the words that I use are too much. I need to simplify my verbiage. Or I haven't asked these kind of people. Maybe I need to talk to these kind of people. I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to go over the compensation plan because even though you're superstar consultants, I want to make sure that you understand what it takes every single month to be paid at a superstar consultant. I should have started there, sorry. But I'm pretty sure at this level, you all know. Okay, so here we are at 500 PRV, which I talked about already. And then your GWV, your entire group needs to sell $6,000 in wholesale. That means that you need to sell, I didn't do the math before I came on here. So I will tell you how to calculate this if you don't know already. say you have on your dashboard, you come up and see that you have 5,100 TWV or GWV, and you need 6,000. You take 6,000 and subtract 5,100, and you get 900. 900 is not the number of PRV that your whole team needs. You divide that by 0.75 and it gives you 1,200. That's the number you need. So you always find the difference between where you need to be and where you are, and then divide it by 0.75. And that will give you the number that you need all of your teammates together to do. And then you need three active frontline. If you've done a goal call with me already, you know that that's one of the pinnacles that we work on. It's one of the mini goals that we work on, because if you only have 3 frontline, it's going to be next to impossible to make sure you have 3 active frontline every month. So growing that active or growing that frontline wide is that recruiting piece that we talked about. So it breaks it down even further here on where you can, or how you're getting paid. Your PRV is 25. And then if you get the monthly sales award, which you should all be shooting for every single month, 2,000 gives you an extra 5%. And then you get a bonus on your PWV, which is your personal wholesale, of 7%. This is when you're paid at Superstar. And then you get 7% of essentials and certifieds, 5% of lead, and 3% of stars. Okay. Anybody have questions on that part? Once you are paid at title for consistently, then you're going to be looking at promoting to director. And the only difference in Superstar and director is the amount of GWV and TWV you need. And that's 10,000 GWV. And if you have a director breakout from your team, then your team needs to be 2,000. Okay, now we can stop and talk about what your questions are. I did that in 15 minutes. Yes.
Your compensation plan, I'm aware of it, but did you get that on the workstation so I can maybe give that to the people under me?
I did, yes.
Okay.
And I will put them, these PDFs, I will post them in the workshop groups after this for each title, after we finish today. And if it doesn't happen by 5:30, can you text me and make sure I remember? I'm going to write myself a note. Okay. The other thing is, I'm glad you brought that up, April. You are going to be wanting to act like a leader because you are a Superstar consultant. That starts at Star. So I've told you that all this before. My Wickless Flava page is what Flava Collective started out originally. Way back when I was a Star consultant, I started this Facebook group called Wickless Flava, and I had named my team back then. And I was bound and determined I was going to be director. It didn't happen for after I hit Star, I think it took me 6 months after that to hit director, maybe 8. But I acted like a director because my director was nowhere to be found. So I was the director and I just took off and did it. And the people in my group formed a cohesive bond that's still alive today. And a lot of you were around back then, and you're still here because of that community that we've built. So I encourage you as a Superstar consultant to do something, either create a group, a Facebook group, or a Facebook Messenger chat, or something like that with your own team, and show up consistently. And you know what you're supposed to show up for? You're supposed to show up to tell them how you're working that day, because it's the worst to have a leader that never is on your group page and you just assume or try to assume that they're actually working. They're not going to believe you if you're not sharing. They're not going to believe that you're actually working day in, day out to get the work done if you're not sharing. So share how you're working, or share if you're taking a break that day, how you're excited for the week and how you're refilling your cup and all the trainings you're watching. And the other thing you need to be doing is training yourself every single week, because we never know everything. And if you feel like you're the smartest person in the room, you need to change your room. Okay, what other questions? Anybody? Sydney, do you want me to unmute you?
Am I unmuted?
You are.
Okay, yeah, I can't even find how to, I swear I haven't done this in so long. I can't even
Okay.
find a button
No
to
worries.
have raise my hand. Idiot. And this is a new phone too, so I'm totally lost. I have a question that is kind of personal, but I don't mind asking it.
Okay.
I'm dealing with this sickness now. Sorry, I might get a little emotional. With this physical and depression.
Mhm.
How do you I have to, like, in my opinion, start over.
Okay.
How do you start over as if you're an essential consultant? Because that's what I feel I have to do, excluding my customers, because it's my customers that have been keeping me where I'm at, not because
Right.
I've been doing parties or being a team leader or anything. I'm just going to admit it. It's the truth. So
Well,
I feel
I
I'm
appreciate you being vulnerable and sharing that with us, because a lot of people probably will look at this video and hear it and feel that they're right there with you. So I appreciate you sharing that. And what I would say is you're not starting over at the beginning because you have a customer base and because you already have a team in place, but you can act like it. Any single one of us could relaunch our business at any time. I would suggest being very honest with your team and just communicating with them on a one-on-one basis and messaging them and saying, in a very short and sweet way, I have had some physical and mental struggles over the past X number of months, and I'm relaunching my business, and I would like to relaunch our relationship and see where I can help you in my relaunch.
okay. Most of them are already aware of it, but I still
Okay.
feel really let them down. Some of them are acting the same way they would as if I was in their life anyway. So it doesn't really matter, but I won't go any further than that. But I just don't know how to, like, do I just start watching? In the beginning, if you recall, I was also very sick.
Mm-hmm.
It like, started, and my mom's in Florida, and I watched stuff every single day.
Right.
With you, I did the leap to lead. So is that kind of what I should be doing? Like, do you think? Like, I don't know how to
Yeah, I mean,
get.
depending on where you feel your needs are in your relaunch, like if you need to go back to the basics with PRV, then yes, go do some trainings on parties or events or whatever. But I feel like yours is more recruiting and team leading, correct?
Yes.
So go back and watch some of those videos from Leap to Lead, and go back to the beginning when, I challenged you to go recruit, put out opportunity packets, all of those things. Start there. And then in the meantime, message those members of your team and just be honest as you can with them and be authentic.
I have one more thing. I know you're already very busy in life, but before 2020, Lindsay had that group where she challenged us every week, and if we didn't do it, you got booted.
Yeah.
And I'm a competitive person, so that completing those goals, it sounds silly, but they helped.
Right.
Like,
Right.
I was some of them, and not all of them, because that would just be a downright lie, but some of them I did only because I wanted to make sure I didn't get booted.
Yeah.
But in the end, they helped my business. So is there any way that, I'm willing to help with you, but is there any way that we could maybe do something like that?
I want to, in the very near future, we are definitely going to do something like that on a Facebook group. But in the meantime, I have a jumpstart program that I've been sending out to people once a day, and I can definitely add you to that. And at least it would be challenges each day for you to use in your business.
Okay, cool. Yeah, just don't
Okay.
do a vision board, because we all did vision boards and then COVID came.
No,
To
I
me, they're
didn't. We
now.
skipped that this year.
Yeah, to me, that's a jinx now.
I know. Okay,
All right.
superstars, I'm going to stop the recording.
Thanks, Bonnie.